Hello everybody and welcome to my video on how to make a squirrel hide pouch. Here's the final result of one I made before, and I'll show you also how to make the drawstrings for it, so stay tuned. Okay everybody, so first what you're going to want to do is find a good part of the hide. You most likely want to pick in this gray area in here, and you're going to want to take so about how big you want it, and you got to make sure you have enough for two. So what I like to do is I like to fold it right down the middle so that this head here, or the neck, is right at where the tail is, and then just get a crease in there, crease it down here so you can see where that is, and that gives you an idea of about how much room you have in here. So you can go ahead and draw a line. This will come off easy if you want it to. So yeah, there we have our two things. I'm thinking about that and that. Might actually move this up a little bit. Alright, well I'll be back when my line is adjusted. Okay everybody, I have my line adjusted now. It was down here, it's up here. The next step is quite simple. All you're going to want to do is take a pair of scissors or a razor blade, that'll work too, and just cut right down that line. Just like that. If it's not completely straight, that's alright. We'll get that fixed up soon, but here's what that looks like and that. So I'll come back once I have some more lines drawn, and I'll explain where to put them and why I put them there. Okay everybody, so next up, now that you have this cut in half, as you can see I drew two lines, one here and one here. You want to draw them there, so that's about how big your pouch is going to be. But the thing with this is you have to make sure that this is a little bit bigger than the pouch you want, because once it's all sewn together, you are going to lose a little bit of space. So you need to make sure that this is a little bit bigger. And after you draw those lines, you're just going to want to cut that out. You should probably cut the tail off first as well, if you skinned it out with the tail. Alright, well, I'll be back once I finish cutting these squares. Okay, everybody, now I have my two squirrel squares. This one has a little bit of discolored hair, but I think it'll add a nice touch to it. So lastly, before you start sewing, you just want to choose if you want the leather to be facing on the outside or on the inside. This one has the fur on the outside, as you can tell, and that's also what I'm going to want for this pouch. So you actually want to have it flipped the opposite when you start sewing, because you're going to turn it inside out. That way it makes it seamless and it just looks a lot better in general that way. So if you want the hair out like I'm going to do, you're going to want to have both leather. So I'm going to do a little montage of me sewing here, just a time lapse, and then I'll get back to you once that's finished. so I have now finished stitching it. There's my stitch work. Probably can't see it that well on camera, but nothing special, not that good. So now what you're going to want to do is turn this inside out. So just push in from the bottom, and then you want to have that hair out. It's kind of a hard process, so I'll come back to you when I have it done. Okay folks, this is what it's looking like once it's turned inside out. The seams are a little bit visible over here on this corner. Didn't turn out too well, but as you can see, that looks so much better than it did when it was the other way. So I highly recommend turning it inside out. It makes it look a lot better. Now one thing you're definitely going to run into is this being not completely even. Now there's a very simple way to fix that, as you probably guessed. Just trim it right off there and make it even with the other side. Be careful not to cut those stitches because that will mess you up terribly. Alright, now I'm going to go grab a couple more materials and show you how to make the drawstring, and then you'll have your very own squirrel pouch. Okay, so to start for your drawstring, you just want to make a dot a little bit off center from it, and all you're going to want to do is just pound a nail in there. This will make a good hole for you. It should, at least. You don't have to get it all the way through, but it certainly makes it easier if you do. There you go. And then you want to take your leather. I like to make it pointed at the end like that because it goes in a lot easier. And then you just stick that through there. Look on the other side. Feel for it. Feel for it. And then you can see it. You gotta be careful not to pull that hair too. And then you're just gonna want to keep repeating this process. Go in, out, until you are right about in here somewhere. So I'm gonna do that because it will take a while. I'm not gonna do all that on camera. So I'm just going to come back to you guys once I have it somewhere in here and when I'm about ready to do my final holes. Okay, so I finished stitching the outside with my squirrel hide drawstring here, and I just have two little markings in there towards the center of the pouch, and this is really the last step before you have it completed. Just punch those through like you did the other ones. Take a nail, push it all the way through. And right there. All the way through. And then just take your hide and push it through those holes like you did the other ones. Sometimes it's a little bit hard, especially if you didn't cut it into that triangle. That making that little triangle on the end helps tremendously. And there you have it. I have both of those, and this might feel a little tight at first, but it certainly loosens up after you open it and close it many times. That's a little bit tight over there. Alright, well, I'll come back to you once I have it loosened up. Sorry about that. And yeah, I'll see you then. Okay, everybody, I have it broken in now. With just a little pull and get the whole thing open. That's what the inside's looking like. I'm going to be using this one to store slingshot ammo. And it's already broken in pretty good, but over time it'll get a bunch looser and turn into something like this one. So the more you use it, the easier it'll open and close. There you can see the inside of that one looks pretty similar, but this one's been used a little bit more. So yeah, these are gonna really help me out a lot, and I think they look pretty neat. If you did enjoy this video, please let me know down below in the comments. And if you want more of my videos to pop up in your recommended, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next episode.